One of the things that the raters are looking for is how well you are able to follow instructions on the speaking test. So it's really important to read the instructions carefully. It may seem like pretty obvious advice, but a lot of test takers don't do as well as they could on the speaking test because they misunderstand the instructions or because they lose time thinking about what exactly the instructions are asking them to do. The tricky part about some of the instructions in the speaking test is that sometimes they ask you to do more than one thing, and sometimes they may give you a couple of options but require you to choose one. In these 2 videos, we'll go through all 8 tasks of the speaking test and take a close look at the instructions of each task. In this video, we'll look at the instructions in speaking tasks 1, 2, 3, and 4. In the next video, we will look at speaking tasks 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's start with an example of task 1, giving advice. Here are the instructions. Your friend was hired for a position at a software development company. Since she only recently graduated from university, this will be the first job she has ever had. Give her advice on how she should prepare for her first day at work. Note that in this case, your friend just got a job. It's her first, and she needs some advice about her first day at work. This isn't someone looking for a job, it's someone who already has a job and needs advice about her first day. You should also note that the instructions are to give her advice. This means that you should speak as if talking directly to your friend. You might start off by saying something like, "Hey Lisa, I heard you got your first job. Congratulations. I've got some advice about getting ready for your first day in the office." What would not be correct in this situation would be to say something like, "If my friend got her first job, I would tell her to," because here I am not speaking directly to my friend, and the instructions say, give her advice. Sometimes when we are feeling nervous on a test, it's easy to read instructions quickly and assume we know what we are supposed to do. Take the time to slow down and really pay attention to the details. Here's task 2, talking about a personal experience. Let's look at the instructions in this example. Talk about a time when you acted as a leader. Maybe you can talk about taking on a leadership role in a family, school, or company activity. What was the activity? How did you lead others? And what was the final result? Let's look at that last sentence more carefully. What was the activity? How did you lead others? And what was the final result? Note that you have to do 3 things here. You have 60 seconds of speaking time in task 2, so if you got a question like this, you'd have to give yourself about 20 seconds for each of these 3 parts. Okay, let's take a look at another example. This one is from task 3, describing a scene. Here the instructions read, describe some things that are happening in the picture below as well as you can. The person with whom you are speaking cannot see the picture. Let's look at that last bit again. The person with whom you are speaking cannot see the picture. This is an important point to remember when describing any of the pictures on the speaking test. When you are describing the image in speaking tasks 3, 4, and 8, remember that the listener cannot see the image. This means that your description will have to be very clear. Let's use this image as an example. If I start off by saying, the woman is talking to the boy, it would be very difficult for the listener to imagine what I am talking about. But if I remember that the listener cannot see the image, I will be more careful to build an accurate picture in the mind of the listener. I may start off by describing the post office and mentioning that the woman and the boy are off to the left side, probably talking about the money that the boy is holding. In task 4, you will see the same image as in task 3, but this time the instructions read, In this picture, what do you think will most probably happen next? Here, you aren't being asked to describe what is happening now. You need to make a prediction about what will happen in the immediate future. For example, you may say, the woman in the line will approach the counter. Okay, so far we've taken a look at the instructions in speaking tasks 1, 2, 3, and 4. Try the quiz after this video and then go on to the second part, in which we'll look at the instructions in tasks 5, 6, 7, and 8.